Snapchat memories, and this picture popped up because I remember this was the first day that I had this rig. This was the first day that I had anything that I could actually take a dab with. This was like something I was trying to do for so long. I remember hitting up all the plugs that I knew because at this point dabs were just non-existent in my town. It was almost like trying to find the peach flavored Arizona iced tea. Try it if you can find it. It's so good. I remember sending a text out to all the plugs that I knew saying, if you can give me my first dab, I'll give you $20. And that offer stood on the table for maybe 3 months before someone finally was able to get some. He didn't even want the 20. He just wanted me to like share the experience with me, and he had this like really crazy Toro rig. And then I got inspired to get the dab rig. So I hit up the company that I was getting pipes probably twice a month to make YouTube videos with, and it was really fun time. And they went crazy this time. I think the one that I have is like a slime Klein Encycler or something like that. I know that it's probably not a real Klein Encycler, but it's got that style on it. It's honestly my favorite dab rig, and it's the only one I've used since then. I still have it to this day. I'd show it on the video right now, but it's back at the apartment. Listen, I've been using the Puffco a lot for dabs, but don't ask me how it's been this amount of time and it's still not broken somewhere. I've knocked it on the side of the sink a million times watching it out, and it's still there. All right, it's never gonna break. At this point, this amount of time going by, I think I'll shed a tear the day that I'll actually drop it on the floor and it'll break or something, but it'll never break. So like I said, I was looking through my Snapchat memories and I found one picture of the first day that I got the rig. We went up to a cave to take dabs in a cave. This cave is somewhere where I've used to go when I was a kid all the time, and I'd love showing my friends it, because when can you say you've been in a cave? Like it's one that it's not a tourist attraction. Like people don't really know about it unless you like grew up in the hometown and heard the stories about the bigger cave, which we'll get to later in the story. It's kind of like this side action cave that's easier to get to, like more realistic to get into, and you could just, it's like a secret spot, you know, you got to know about it to get there. There's this windy ass trail on the side of the mountain that's honestly pretty sketchy. Like if you fall when you're on the side of this, you're going to take a big tumble. All right. I don't know about death, but like maybe a broken leg at least or something. To call it hazardous is an understatement, but it's doable. All right? I've done it probably 10 times in my life. Maybe half the times I've had some close calls. But anyways, listen, it was me and like 3 or 4 other friends, and we finally make the trek up into the cave, and I take the rig out, and everybody's like, whoa dude, that's crazy, because it was a really cool piece for the time. I know that you see on Instagram all these insane artists making crazy heady pipes, $30,000 worth of work in it. It's a collaboration between 6 different people. It's got black lights built into the rig. It's got 16 different types of opal all spread across the entire rig. It's beautiful, some of the stuff you see on Instagram, man. I love heady glass. But listen, this was a really cool pipe for 2016. And now, like I said, this was when dabbing was first getting popular in my town. Everybody started off with the glass bangers. I know it's a weird concept. It's not quartz. It's literally, maybe it's a little quartz. I don't know. I don't know how it works, dude. It like you heat this thing up and you just like knew it was hot and hoped to God it wasn't too hot. It was kind of like titanium, but even sketchier. Like sometimes you'd heat it up, and if it was a cheap one, it would just explode on you. Shards of molten glass everywhere. There were some rough times. There were some rough times when dabbing first came out. Everybody went right to the titanium and was blast the thing to red hot. You take a dab and have to sit by the window breathing out just for 10 minutes while you're just dying and crying inside because it just hurts so bad. The good old days, huh? The Squidward dabs. So I have the picture here, and I don't have the glass banger inside of it. I wish I could have it there just so you guys know what I'm talking about. I think the picture was like when I first took it out the bubble wrap. I had it in my backpack, and I was like, dabs, dude, thinking I was all cool at 2016 or something, dude. If I remember right at the time, I didn't have a lot. There was like 4 people all sitting around me, and I'm like, I'll give everybody like a really little dab. And I think only 2 people even wanted to, because listen, this is a danger situation. You're sitting in a cave, and it's like climbing up to this cave, 1 out of 10 difficulty, probably about like a, 6.3. But after taking a dab, red hot 2016 style dab, I'd say it brings it up to a solid 9.4. If you can't balance correctly while you're going down, like To climb up to the cave is the real sketchy part. Not even talking about the trail back. The trail back is just kind of windy, just straight on the side of a mountain with like a big drop off right next to you. Like I'm talking the path is maybe this wide. On top of it, a lot of the times we go up there, there'd be a bunch of leaves all over, so you'd be slipping and sliding, grabbing onto the rocks. And so that kind of worked out because I didn't have a lot of dabs. It was hard to come by and very expensive back then. It was like finding 710 labs on the East Coast. So then one of my friends that took a dab, to be fair, he took a dab. So this is just, I don't know what he was thinking. He's like, all right, guys, it's time to go into the big cave. I'm sitting there blasted, just blasted. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'll watch you guys do it. Like, this is really dangerous. 1 out of 10 danger. This is a solid 9.8 sober. Like, this is something that's like, you know, you get like the achievement unlocked for being, you know, living in this town, and you get to say you went into this cave. Like, to do it professionally, you're gonna need like full climbing gear and Captain Price your way from the top of the cliff down into the cave. That's the safe way of doing it. But listen, you know, my friends, listen. They're just not about doing it the safe way, I guess. We climbed down the cave. I'm so blasted. I'm just on autopilot. I don't even know how I made it down to the path. But you travel a little bit further down the path, and then the big cave is like right there. And I'm just looking up at it. It's probably, I don't know, if I had to guess, maybe 100 feet up. That sounds a little bit, I'm a little blasted. Listen, maybe 50 feet up. Maybe that sounds a little bit more realistic. But you're looking up at it feeling like an ant. You know, it's like taking mushrooms and looking up at trees while you're taking a piss. You know, it's the most minuscule being in the planet. On top of it just being jolly-oly baked from the red hot dab that I had taken 10 minutes previous. So the friend I'm talking about is just like, you know, he's like a thrill seeker type of person. He loves climbing things, no ropes, just being crazy. Because there actually was 3 or 4 different climbing ropes that were kind of, I don't know, wedged in the top of like right where the cave opening was, all the way down to where we were standing. Most of the people in the group were trying to, like, you know, hold on to the rope and climb up a little bit. Everybody got back down because that shit's crazy. All right, anybody who wants to do that, that's insane. Maybe with a harness. That maybe they were set up to so you could actually put it into a harness, but we weren't smart enough for that, obviously. Do you think we have climbing gear just in our backpacks? Like, what do you think this is? You know, I'm just standing there at the bottom like, no way. Not me. And the friend I was talking about already just free climbed his way like Spider-Man right up the side of the mountain. And he's just standing at the top of the cave looking down at us like, you guys coming? We're like, nah. So this dude just climbs back down. No ropes, record time. Like, I was just astonished. It's like he had no fear in his body whatsoever. I'm about the polar opposite. When it comes to heights, like, I can't do it. Absolutely can't do it. And he's like, all right, dude, listen, you guys totally got to go up there. It's super cool. And I know a safer way of doing it. And I'm thinking, how? How could the word safe define anything I'm about to do? If you follow the path that we were on even further, it went uphill and then kind of went around a corner to just a straight drop off. Like, it was basically the end of the trail. It couldn't possibly go any further than this. But as it went up, it also attached to the side of the cliff around the cave, which had another training rope leading all the way around the rock and back towards where this trail ended. And it was kind of like, you know, the cheat code way of doing it is what he was describing. You know, he wanted us to do it the crazy fun way, but if you just want to get up to the cave, this was the easier way of doing it. So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, this is the moment, you know? This is the moment where I get the status of being one of the ones that went into the cave. You know, I get to say that. I get to bring it up in conversation when I'm 45 years old. Like, hey, you know, listen, I did that. All right. You know, you get those conversation starter. On top of it, this was something my dad had always said he'd always wanted to do. So listen, I could flex a little bit. The contemplation, the being baked, the decision making, the 16-year-old non-developed brain. You know, I was in the moment. I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. All right, let's do it. Everybody went before me, dude. I was the last one. I was like really contemplating not doing it. But the rope like made it seem really easy, and honestly it was. When I finally got on the rope, I made my friend that, you know, orchestrated the whole thing. This was his idea. I made him kind of trail right in front of me just so I had someone there to like tell me where to put my hands and feet on the side of the cliff, because the more you got onto the cliff, the further the drop would go. Like, the further we'd get away from that incline on the path. So as you kept going, the more dangerous it got. And about halfway, I'm like, there's this rock that you kind of got to go around. And I'm like, just on the edge of it, where the point of no return, basically. There's a rope behind me. So I do have something to grab onto if I slip and fall. And hopefully that rope that's been there for who knows how long, all right? Because it could have been there for 3 years, weathered by the winter and rain and all the seasons, and you got to replace the ropes every couple years. So it could have been there for 10 years, who knows? But listen, the rope felt pretty safe, and it had me confident up until I got to this point, and I just started to panic. Dude, I was shaking. All I could think about was, oh my God, dude, if I just let go right now, I'm going to die. This is terrible. That's the only thought in my mind. I'm freaking out, hyperventilating, blood pressure's probably through the roof, off the charts. And I look over to my friend like, dude, I'm freaking out. Like, what do I do? I'm freaking out. He's like, dude, just calm down. You're like almost there. I was like 75% of the way there. There was still a decent amount. And the hardest part, right at the end, the rope ends on the side of the cliff. You got to make an Assassin's Creed level hop into the cave and hope and just pray that you don't slip on the loose rock inside of the cave. You just gotta hop. And I'm visually seeing what I have to do, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go back. He's like, bro, come on. I'm right here. I got you. Like, we're almost there. We're so close. And I'm like, I'm literally shaking on the side of the cliff. And I just push myself. I go around to the corner. And as soon as I got around the corner, I felt a little bit better. I don't know. It was something about being on that corner of the cliff, looking down, getting vertigo, feeling, I don't know how people climb high shit. I have no idea. You see those crazy people on Twitter and Instagram climbing New York City skyscrapers, and it's not that. It's the ones under construction, so there's a crane that goes even further up. That stuff is wild to me. This is how I felt. This is exactly how I felt. Like I was on top of a skyscraper looking down, like, and it was only maybe 100 feet up, but like, that's death. You know, there's no surviving that. That's the only thing going through my head. But I can also see the cave that I've always wanted to go in. And all my friends just looking at me, just like waiting for me. On top of it, I felt like I was being slow. So I got to this hop point, dude, the leap point. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know if I can do this. My friend, he's standing there holding his hand out like, I got you. Just grab my hand and we're good. So, dude, listen, I put my whole life, the trust of life into my friend. And I jumped, grabbed his hand. If he slipped, dead. You know, that's it. That would have been it. But he pulls me into the cave. And I just drop to my hands and knees, and I'm just hyperventilating and shaking, and everybody else in the cave is just like looking at me like, dude, is he all right? Like, what's going on? I'm having a full-blown panic attack. I had to sit there and catch my breath for like 15 minutes. Everybody else has already gone down the cave. It's just me and the friend up there. It was cool. I really do wish that I had a picture to show you guys from this day. I'll try and find one on Google Images. It'll definitely probably be a better quality picture than what I got, but I remember being so underwhelmed. Like, the view from the smaller cave was actually better because you could kind of see through the trees, but you're so high up in this second, huge cave, the treetops are like right in front of you, so the view is kind of blocked. I think it was even like a really cloudy day, so you couldn't see anything, but I made it, dude. I made it up to the cave. I could say that I went there. Would I do it again? Not if you paid me $1 million, dude. Maybe. All right, maybe for $1 million. That's hard to... I truly would not do it, ever. Like, it was like a one and done. I've done it. Going up there more than once, like, you're just asking for something bad to happen. On top of it, they cut all those ropes down. So you have to be literally Spider-Man to get up there at this point, like my buddy was. I don't know how he has the courage to do that. But so that was the time that I took probably one of my first dabs. The first dab out of the rig. But truly, this was right when I was able to get them. So this could have been one of my first 10 dabs ever. So you can imagine how baked I really was doing this. Like, the whole thing just felt like a blur. It was pure panic. As soon as I got up around that side of the cliff, like, it just wasn't fun. I wouldn't do it again. Listen, for a YouTube video, no, I wouldn't. I'm so sorry. I'll go back and show you from the trail sometime, but I'm not going back up there. No way. My dad was pissed when I told him about this. He's like, you did what? He's like, I'm not disappointed. I'm mad. Like, why would you do that? You're going to risk your life like that? Listen, he wasn't disappointed. He was mad. But low key, dude, low key, he was like, that's pretty cool. Like, I can't believe you did that. That's pretty cool. But I'm mad. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody supporting me on Patreon. For $1 or $2 a month, you can support the channel and get access to the 170 plus blazing videos. It's like a lot of them are 20 to 40 minutes long. Question and answer and topic videos where I'm just blazing. I have a lot of fun making those videos. Thank you to everybody on screen for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. Check the link in the description for more information. It's just patreon.com/xCodeh. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Stay high, stay lifted, and stay snazzy. Peace.